You can buy a piece of Google, Apple, or Tesla right now, today, for less than the cost of a medium pizza. Yes, even if you live thousands of miles away from Wall Street, even if you do not have a United States bank account, and even if you only have $10 to your name. For decades, the United States stock market was treated like an exclusive VIP club. If you lived outside the US, getting in required massive capital, complex offshore accounts, and paying outrageous fees to traditional wealth managers. But technology has completely shattered those walls. Today, anyone, anywhere in the world can open their phone and own a slice of the biggest companies on the planet. But before you rush to download an app and start throwing your hard-earned cash at the market, you need to understand exactly how the plumbing of international investing works, because if you do not understand the fees, the taxes, and the mechanics, you will lose money before you even buy your first stock. So, let us break down the exact, step-by-step reality of how international investors actually buy US stocks. First, we need to talk about the middleman. When you use a local investing app in your home country to buy a US stock, that app is not actually going to the New York Stock Exchange and buying the shares for you. Your local app is essentially just a very pretty digital storefront. What they do is partner with a licensed United States clearing broker, companies like Drive Wealth or Apex Clearing. So when you open an account on your local app, you are actually opening an account with that US clearing broker in the background. Your local app is just the bridge. This is a critical concept to grasp, because it answers the scariest question every new investor has. What happens to my money if my local investing app goes bankrupt? Well, because your stocks and your cash are actually held in the United States by the clearing broker. You are protected by something called the SIPC, that stands for the Securities Investor Protection Corporation. The SIPC is basically an insurance policy for your investments. If the US brokerage fails, your account is protected up to $500,000. That is $500,000 of protection by United States law, even if you are not a US citizen. So if your local app disappears tomorrow, your shares of Microsoft and Amazon do not vanish into thin air. They are safely sitting in a regulated US vault tied to your name. Now, let us talk about the absolute best feature of modern investing, the reason you can start with just $10. It is called fractional shares. Let us say you want to buy one single share of a massive tech company, but that one share costs $3,000. If you are a beginner, dropping $3,000 on a single stock is terrifying, or maybe just impossible. In the old days, you had to buy whole shares. If you had $2,999, you could not buy it, you were locked out. But fractional shares changed everything. Think of a share of stock like a large pizza. If you cannot afford the whole pizza, the brokerage allows you to just buy one slice. If a stock costs $3,000, but you only have $30 to invest, the broker will sell you exactly 0.01 shares. You get 1/100th of the stock. And the best part, that fraction of a share acts exactly like a whole share. If the stock goes up 10%, your $30 investment goes up 10%. If the company pays a dividend, you get a fraction of that dividend deposited directly into your account. It allows you to build a highly diversified portfolio, owning 10 or 20 different world-class companies, with just a few $100s. And this is a massive but, here is where people lose their shirts. Let me share a very embarrassing, relatable mistake I made when I first started investing internationally. I was so excited to buy my first US stock. I downloaded a brokerage app, got verified, and I decided to test the waters. I transferred, like, $50 from my local bank account to the US brokerage. I waited 3 days for the international wire to clear. I logged into my account, expecting to see $50 ready to invest. Instead, I saw roughly $15. I panicked. I thought I got scammed. I was ready to write angry emails and call the police. But then I looked at the receipt. I had been hit by international wire transfer fees and terrible currency exchange markups. My local bank charged me a fixed fee of $20 just to send the money across borders. Then, an intermediary bank took another cut. And finally, the bank gave me a horrible exchange rate when converting my local currency into US dollars. By the time my money arrived in America, it had been absolutely slaughtered by fees. This is the biggest trap for international investors, because you are converting your local currency into US dollars. You are playing the foreign exchange game. Do not do what I did. Do not send tiny, frequent amounts of money across borders. If your bank charges a fixed fee of, say, $15 per transfer, sending $50 is financial suicide. You are losing 30% of your money immediately. Instead, you must batch your transfers, save up your money in your local account, and transfer a larger lump sum like $500 or $1,000 at once. A $15 fee on a $1,000 transfer is only 1.5%. That is manageable. Actually, pause for a second. Have you ever been hit by a surprise bank fee that made you want to throw your phone at the wall? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them, and honestly, it makes me feel better knowing I am not the only one who has paid the stupid tax. Tell me your worst bank fee story. Okay, let us move on to actually buying the stock. When you decide to buy or sell, you have to remember that Wall Street does not care what time it is in your country. The United States stock market opens at 9:30 in the morning and closes at 4 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Depending on where you live in the world, that might be the middle of the night for you. In Asia, the US market opens late in the evening and runs until the early hours of the morning. But there is a curveball. The United States observes daylight saving time. This means twice a year, the US changes its clocks. In the spring, they jump an hour forward. In the fall, they fall an hour back. If your country does not observe daylight saving time, the opening bell of the stock market is going to randomly shift by an hour twice a year on your clock. It is incredibly confusing the first time it happens. You will sit down with your coffee to trade, and the market will just be closed. Luckily, you do not have to stay awake until 3 a.m. to invest. All modern brokerage apps allow you to place limit orders or queued orders while the market is closed. You just type in the price you want to pay, hit buy, go to sleep. And when the market opens in New York, the system will automatically execute your trade if the price is right. Now let us talk about the most boring, but most important topic, taxes. When you invest in the US market from overseas, you are stepping into a complex web of international tax laws. But do not worry, I will make this extremely straightforward. First, when you open your account, you will be asked to digitally sign a form called the W-8BEN. Do not let the robotic name scare you. The W-8BEN is just a piece of paper that tells the United States government, "Hey, I am not a US citizen, and I do not live in the US, so please do not tax me like one." Filling this out is mandatory, but once you do, how do taxes actually work? There are two ways you make money in the stock market: dividends and capital gains. Let us start with dividends. A dividend is a cash reward a company pays you just for owning their stock. If you are a non-US resident, the United States government is going to take a slice of that dividend before you ever see it. This is called a dividend withholding tax. By default, the US takes a massive 30% of your dividends. However, many countries have a tax treaty with the United States. If your country has a treaty, that 30% withholding tax is usually reduced to 15%, or sometimes even 10%. Here is how it works in the real world. Let us say you own shares in a company and they declare a $100 dividend payout for your shares. You will not receive $100. The broker will automatically deduct, let us say, $15 for the US government and deposit exactly $85 into your account. It happens automatically. You do not have to mail a check to the IRS or hire a fancy American accountant. The broker handles the withholding. Later, when you file taxes in your home country, you can usually claim a foreign tax credit so you do not get taxed twice on that same money. The second way you make money is capital gains. A capital gain is when you buy a stock for $10 and sell it for $50. You made a $40 profit. Here is the fantastic news. For most international investors, the United States government charges 0% capital gains tax to non-residents. Let me repeat that. The US will not tax your profits when you sell a stock. However, your home country definitely will. When you bring that money back home, your local tax authority will want their cut of your profits. Usually this depends on how long you held the stock. If you buy and sell quickly, usually under a year, it is considered a short-term capital gain and is taxed heavily, almost like a regular salary. If you hold the stock for a long time, usually over 1 or 2 years depending on your local laws, it becomes a long-term capital gain and the tax rate drops significantly. This is just another reason why long-term investing always beats day trading. So, we have covered the brokers, the fractional shares, the fees, the time zones, and the taxes. The final question is, what exactly should you be buying? While it is incredibly tempting to try and pick the next massive tech winner, picking individual stocks is a dangerous game. For every person who bought Apple early, there are thousands of people who bought companies that went completely bankrupt. If you want a straightforward, stress-free way to build wealth in the US market, you should be looking at ETFs. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. Instead of trying to find the perfect needle in the haystack, an ETF just buys the whole haystack. For example, an S&P 500 ETF is a single investment that holds a tiny piece of the 500 largest companies in the United States. With one click, you instantly own a fraction of Microsoft, Amazon, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, and 496 other massive corporations. If one company has a terrible year and goes bankrupt, it does not matter because the other 499 companies will carry your portfolio upward. It is the ultimate form of diversification. Investing internationally used to be a game only for billionaires and hedge funds. Now, the power is literally sitting in your pocket. But with that power comes the responsibility to be smart. Watch out for those international transfer fees. Do not let the currency conversions eat your capital. Take advantage of fractional shares. And remember that investing is a marathon, not a sprint. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I make straightforward videos like this every single week to help you understand your money, grow your wealth, and avoid the painful financial traps that the system sets up for us. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.